Hello, everybody. I am SunPsychic Jean. Please welcome Stacey from Sacred Key Codes. Hi, Stacey. How are you?
Hi, Jean. I'm doing good. So great to be with you, be here with you and everyone else today.
It's so fun to have you back, and what a fun Saturday we're going to have together, everybody. We're going to be talking about crystals and how to connect to your crystals. And as you can see below in our background, there's crystals in our background too. I thought that was very appropriate. I see Miss Sherlock is here, and Angelia is here, and Nancy Riker, Laura Hammond, everybody's here. So nice to see you all. We have a wonderful presentation. Stacey did an amazing job putting together some slides for us. And just so you know, it's not as intense as it may look. We're going to be moving through it pretty quickly, and we'll all get to do a little bit of a practice to connect to crystals. You don't actually have to have a crystal in your hand. You can think of one or look at a picture or just intend for the energy of this crystal to be with you at the time that you are doing the practice. So, is there anything that you wanted to brief everybody on, Stacey, before we get started?
Just to add on to what you said, another great way to do it if you don't have a crystal is to actually connect to the crystals in the earth, because the earth is full of all the different crystals and it's all a part of the crystalline grid that we can just easily tap into just with our intention. So, yeah.
Excellent, excellent. And that's all part of grounding. This is the energy that we are grounding or connecting to when we ground. And this is the energy of Gaia. She's filled with all of these crystals, and all of these crystals have all of the frequency and vibration that is so healing for us. And that's why Gaia is so very healing for us as well. It's like, which came first, the chicken or the egg, the crystals or the Gaia, and which one is, but it's amazing. It's lovely, and I'm so excited to talk to everybody about it. I see Joanna and Richie's Reach here. Thank you both for. Oh, and Julie Hamill. Nice to see you. Thank you all for being here. So I don't know if our. Yeah, I don't think that is running live. Let me just do one little thing. Oh, yes, we are live. Good. Now I found it. And thank you all for being here. If you're here on Facebook, just say hello and let us know that you're here. And thank you all for being here. So I'll just move on. Okay. So Stacey, let's go ahead and get started. Andre Ashdown is here. So nice to see you. And Gatekeeper 94, Sue Toffee,
Hi, everyone.
and Karen Doyle. So nice to see everybody. Jen, wow, the whole crew. I had a feeling a lot of people would be interested in learning about this. So thank you all for being here. We're going to get started this way. If you miss anything, you can go back to the beginning. And we want to make sure we want to be respectful of your time as well. So this is just a little presentation, and Stacey's going to get started with it. And we hope that you enjoy it. Okay. So, how to connect to crystals. This is where we're going to begin. And we're just going to, this is just a few items, a few areas where crystals can help us as humanity and pets, and people put crystals in plants as well. You can put them in the dirt, and it's really, it helps just about everything. So, did you want to review some of the areas where crystals can help, Stacey?
Yeah, I think the number one thing that crystals help us with is our clarity and connection. Just as me and Jean were talking earlier today, we both have our crystals that we use with us when we do our readings or we connect to spirit. So that is definitely one of my favorite ways to use it. And it kind of reminds me of the crystals as being a sort of antenna that picks up the signal and helps us like streamline that connection to whatever it is we're connecting to, because sometimes our mind can kind of waver. But the crystal, like once you set the intention into it, I feel like it very much holds it and it kind of just anchors it down for us. And for this, I was telling Jean I often like to use selenite. It's definitely one of my favorites. But another one that is really good for this that a lot of people like to do is quartz. And I think the part of that is like using these clear crystals, it kind of brings in that clarity and that focus, and it amplifies our intention. So that's why I really like to use those. And then also using it in conjunction with a grounding crystal like shungite, or Jean uses tourmaline, or you can use obsidian, or any one of those ones that really absorb and anchor, and even kind of, I don't know, I feel like they transform some of that incoherent energy like Wi-Fi signals or anything like that. So it's really helpful to help regulate your field while you're making that connection. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do use my crystals when I am connecting, and it's not, it's a tool that I can use. I don't have to. And when I'm at my fair, when I do the psychic fairs, I have hearts because they're easy to hold and they are selenite hearts. And it does help raise and clear the energy. And so different crystals can do different things for different reasons. And you can also have all clear crystals and program them. You can say, I want you to work like a turquoise. I want you to work like labradorite. I want you to work like, you can program them to any specific energy that you intend for them. So just remember that you can always just go with like little bits of clear crystal. I don't have any little bits of clear crystal, but even like little stones like this, that you can program as well. So they're energy packed, yet they're also very malleable, and can work with different energies and change with different energies. Just like, the light one or the clear one and the dark one, because of the polarity. And aren't we on a planet of polarities as well?
Yeah,
And I
I
see.
agree.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, like, as you were talking and you were saying we don't need crystals, it kind of reminded me, it's like we have the most powerful crystal, like in our pineal gland, and in our bodies, we have these crystal frequencies that we can begin to access. And I think working with crystals actually helps amplify and like help us remember that innate wisdom and the own way that we can actually use that within ourselves. Like it kind of triggers that remembrance, kind of activates it for us. So.
Absolutely. Yeah. We didn't even have that on the list here, but we do have.
Everything.
Yeah, we're contained with crystal and crystalline energy and frequency as well. It's really it's endless, you guys. We're just really scratching the very tip of the surface here. We're just working on an introduction and something for you to think about, but it is really quite profound. So thank you. And you see down here we have everything listed. It's we couldn't leave out. It's everything had to be included on that list. But thank you.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
like we said, you can go back later and take a look at the slides. But we're just going to pick out a few items to talk about on each slide. So it says how to connect with a crystal, and look how beautiful this background is. Very beautiful. I love that. And the first area, so Stacey, why don't you go ahead and talk about the first one and I'll take the second one.
Yeah, so the first thing you want to do when you're actually going to connect to a crystal is I like to set my intention. That way I can kind of pick a crystal that really resonates with my intention and kind of what I'm looking for, because yes, we can program any crystal, but there's also so much wisdom and knowledge that these crystal intelligence hold. And when we can create that alignment, it really helps kind of amplify the field of energy and gives us that kind of direct connection into what it is that we are looking for. So for this, I really invite you to actually intuitively choose your crystal. And I like to do this intuitively because sometimes we get a crystal and that, may not be like to the book's definition. So it's like we may need healing for something and we get a grounding crystal or we get a spiritual connection crystal like amethyst or something. And it's bringing healing, but it's bringing healing to the certain thing that we need, as opposed to just like a general sense. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, and that is how I found some of my first crystals. Was I was it was almost like behind me on a shelf, and I turned around and I walked over to the shelf and I thought, "Oh, I never saw this before. I wonder what this is." So I felt it and I put it in my hand, and it just felt like it was very comfortable. And so I thought, "Oh, this is really neat. I think I'll try this." I took it home and I felt so different. And I am highly sensitive and attuned to these, but I felt so different, so calm, so serene. I felt like my energy was changing, and I thought, could that be that crystal that I picked up a few stores back? I think I was shopping with my husband, you know how you window shop and stuff, and it was just something I was drawn to. It's not like a whole, you don't have to meditate in front of it or anything. It's just whatever you're drawn to. It's very natural, very casual, and it really just helped me to clear out that energy, helped me to feel serene. And I thought, this is really nice. So I went and I bought a bigger one. And that's how it got started for me. I did take a crystal energy healing class, and that's a whole nother class about healing. But yeah, it's really great. So intuitively choose your crystal based on your intention. So the next one is ground your energy. Sense beautiful roots extending from your feet deep into the crystalline core of Mother Earth, and feel yourself becoming stable and grounded. So we're going to walk you through and talk you through the first thing that you do. So when you choose your crystal, I guess it would be something that you already have with you. And so I was talking about choosing mine at the store, but from what you have either in a picture that you have, and we'll show you some beautiful pictures at the end, or some pictures, or some, even if you think of let's say a turquoise of some sort, and you intend that the energy of turquoise come in and assist you with this connection. You can do that with your intention as well. All right. So do you want to take number 3?
Yeah, so the after you've decided on your intention and grounded yourself, it's really important to attune to the crystal's energy. So before we kind of go in and kind of ask questions about ourselves or like guidance, I think it's really important to actually feel into the frequency of the crystal. So just holding it in your hand and closing your eyes and really focusing on the sensation of the crystal's energy in your hand and kind of sensing how it feels. It's like, is it warm? Does it tingle? Does it vibrate? Like, what feelings is it producing in your body? What is it triggering? What kind of impressions are coming up for you? Because this will really give you a sense into kind of what its energy field holds in it, and kind of some of the wisdom, the abilities that it has and can provide for you. And I think it really helps strengthen the next part when you go into the connection. So once you really attune to its energy and you feel it, you can invite it into your auric field, your heart, and just kind of sit with it for a few minutes, get to know it before you kind of, and this will also tell you if your intention's in alignment. So it's like if that stone has a very different energy from your original intention and it doesn't feel like it's in coherence, then you can know, like, okay, maybe I need something else for myself, or I need a different crystal. So just be open and kind of read into just what it's really providing for you.
Mhm. And there's no wrong answer here. You don't have to be an expert about crystals, energy. It's all about your own intuition and what you feel in your body, or what you feel in your intuition. It's not and you could say, I feel like I'm guessing. I feel like it's okay. Well, then it's okay, but you would know if it's not okay. Like, trust yourself in like general sense. Is this okay with me or not okay with me? Does it feel good and warm, or does it feel good and cool? Does it, and try and just go into like general sense. But honestly, it's a very subtle energy. It's very subtle, and only sometimes you can feel like a vibration, or a frequency or a maybe even a sensation, not even a vibration, because some people
Mhm.
can't even feel the vibration. It's just a sensation. Like even if
Mhm.
you hold it and you're not sure if you're feeling a sensation, then take it away and you say, "Oh, I feel a sensation in my hand from that being there." But it's very subtle, and you may feel like you might be making it up, or it's not really a strong feeling. I'm not really sure. It's okay not to be sure. Just choose a direction and move forward. And you'll learn through trial and error and doing this several times what it is that works and what it is that doesn't work. And it's important to be gentle with yourself and patient in the beginning of the process. But this is an amazing process that Stacey has outlined for us here. Just amazing. Um, the next one is establish a connection. Imagine a beam of light connecting to your heart to the crystal, to the heart of the crystal. Breathe with the crystal to strengthen your connection. That is so beautiful. Our breath is our life force. Our breath is a gift from the universe. It's something that humanity does that is very unique, and it is part of our soul's life force. And with our heart's connection to the breath, it really does amplify and strengthen that connection to the crystal. So I love breath work. I love working with the breath and the heart connection. It's even just your intention. Even if you say the words and you say, well, I'm just going to say the words, it's working on a very subtle level, and just trust it that it's working. You may want to repeat it with different crystals, or repeat it a couple of times until you can really sense something, a change, a very subtle change. So go ahead.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I agree with you. And the reason that I was drawn to connect to our hearts is because it really is about tuning into the energetics. Because a lot of the times we kind of try to come from the constructs of our mind and our preconceived ideas of like what the crystal is, what it does. But I feel like this really helps you come into that intuitive state, into that really feeling state, into what is behind this crystal, like what is its energy and what is here for me. So I really love the connection in that way. And I agree with the breath. It is definitely a life force. And when I do the breath, sometimes I like to imagine like myself breathing into the crystal and then the crystal breathing back into me, and then like exchanging that energy through the breath. So even imagining that light coming back and forth, and even just imagining the crystal breathing, even if you don't feel it, you can kind of sense it and kind of explore like what would that be like if that crystal was breathing with me. And so for the next step, it's just dive deep. So once you have established a strong connection, I really invite you to, ask a question, because when we ask questions, it really helps the information to kind of flow, and it brings in that fluidity that it doesn't really happen if we just sit there and we just have like an expectation but do nothing. So asking questions can really help prompt that knowledge and that wisdom to come forth. So you can ask things like for guidance, you can ask for energy healing, you can ask for some of the abilities that that crystal has to come in and through you. So just like certain stones that have a strong connection, like there's different stones for everything. So like some stones are really strong for connecting with spirit guides, some are really strong for connecting with the Akashic records, and like everything in between. So we can really establish like what are some of those abilities that we want to utilize from within the stone. And even like with clearing or healing, we can tune into some of those. If we need some kind of like negative or emotional healing from our fields, we can ask for that. And sometimes it'll give us guidance back, because like the crystals can do so much, but if we are going to continue to go into the same negative patterns, that's when we need some guidance. And so the crystals can actually provide us with that and tell us some of the kind of shifts and changes that we need to do. And something that I found fascinating about this is uh, just a few days ago, Daphne sent me some crystal elixirs in the mail. And
Oh,
I never worked with these elixirs before, but I got diamond, and I like that. That was the one I was drawn to first, and it's one of the ones we'll be using in our solstice meditation. But I was really feeling like this energetic depletion, like I was like taxed energetically, and I was like, just asking Diamond for a clearing, just like, just help me recharge and clear. But what it was actually telling me was that I needed to take some action and like cut out some of the stimulants that I was taking. And like, I don't eat that like bad of a diet. I don't drink caffeine or anything, but like the chocolate for me, it was chocolate for me, and sugar. So I was like cutting those out, and it really gave me the strength because and the willpower, because it's like, yeah, I know I shouldn't eat sweets and chocolate all the time, but me, I do. But I felt like it gave me some strength and some willpower, and I just bagged them all up and I put them away, and I haven't thought of them since. And I've just been working with the crystal, and it's really been helping me to actually keep that intention, and it's really helping me balance out my energy so I don't feel like those big spikes and those um, lows. And I've really been loving it. So really listen to the message behind the crystal, because you may need to take some action. And then the crystal can help facilitate that action for you and really kind of bring that coherence into your field so you can stay consistent with it. And so when you're receiving the guidance, I also really invite you to translate the information coming through, because sometimes, again, like we just sit there and we just are waiting, and then we end up questioning like, well, what does that mean? Why am I seeing a picture of this? So if you can write or just speak aloud what is going on for you, like describe some of the images you're getting or some of the impressions you're getting, write down some of the words that you're hearing or receiving or thinking of as you're connecting to the crystal. And this will help more information to come through, because sometimes it stays stagnant because you're like, did they get it yet? Are you ready for the next thing? And we kind of just get stuck with just a very shallow answer that we don't make sense of because we haven't asked. So it's like, okay, I'm getting an image of a duck. What does duck mean? Why am I getting an image of duck? And then maybe it has to do with like, I don't know, that whole saying, water's off a duck back, be resilient, don't let things bring you down. And so really, when you begin to translate the information, that's what opens up so much more knowledge for you.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Well said, Stacey. So I'm just going to talk about this last item here, and then I'll jump over to the chat and say hello to some VIPs. So the last step would be to integrate. And what we do is we thank the crystal for connection and energy. And it's really important to work with gratitude. It's one of the highest vibrational intentions and frequencies. And it really does help solidify, help just anchor everything for sure. So ground yourself once more and journal any last insights or guidance that to help integrate the experience. When the experience is over, it's not over. It'll continue. It's just the activity or the practice of the intention is completed. But there's so many things that popped up, but I just wanted to say hello to some VIPs. I have Pierrette White here, and she's As We Heal Each Other is her YouTube channel. And Kelly Scarborough is here, and she's the Mystic Next Door. Hi, Kelly. Thanks for being here. Scott Scorpio Sun Tarot is here, and he's having his 3-year channelversary this evening. We're having a big party over at Scott's channel. That'd be nice. And Kelly says, no, not the chocolate. But this was for Stacey's energy with that practice that she was doing. I just wanted to say hello to Wisdom Seeker Joan. She's one of my co-hosts, one of my classmates, and thank you so much for being here, Wisdom Seeker Joan. And thank you, Kelly. And Linda had an interesting question. She said, what is black tourmaline? So as far as an item of definition, I'm not sure we're prepared to categorize or identify black tourmaline, but any darker crystals would be absorbing of heavier, denser energies. I love black tourmaline, and I think this is obsidian, but it's similar, but it has a little bit more of a marbling to it. I don't think it's like so jet black, but it is a wonderful crystal to use and to have. I don't have an example of one here. I have like they're like little pellets. They almost look like chocolate covered raisins, like dark chocolate. They have like those imperfections in it. It's not sharp or it's that's what it reminds me of, is dark chocolate covered raisins. It has like those dimples in it. But it is a good grounding, and it's also used for protection. There's an exercise that you can put a piece, and it could be just a little quarter-sized piece of black tourmaline in the number of 5 black tourmalines in corners of your room or home, and then put the 5th one in the center. Like, there's all different things that we can do to work with crystals. But that was a good question, Linda, and thank you. I want to say hello to Kevin Lewis, the healing medium. Hi, Kevin. Thanks for being here. And Mary says that obsidian assists the root chakra. Very nice. That's right. That's right. And I do chakra balancing healings, and along with the sound healing, I was helping out a family member, and these crystals are quite powerful, and they do listen to us, and and even though, like, I did the healing with a family member, and then I took the crystals back and put my sound equipment away, and the family member went home, and like later on that week, she called and she says, I'm feeling this. And I'm like, yeah, it's not only at that moment, it's very subtle. And when it works in a subtle way, and it manifests in a subtle way. It's just so gentle, and I just love it. So I do want to talk about remind me at the very end, I do want to talk about I had a BQH session, which is like a QHHT session. And I want to tell you about the crystals that I found while I was there. It was fascinating. So somebody's telling me to tell that story. All right. So let's move on to the next slide. And next will be how to connect to the crystal. So we're going to be connecting next. Wait, is this the same?
This is just in case you don't have a crystal. So it's basically the same process, only this time, instead of, holding your crystal in your hand or choosing a crystal out of your collection, you can actually just set your intention. And then as you hold your intention and do your grounding, you're going to connect to the crystal in the earth. And so then you're going to sense the crystalline energy from the crystalline grid of the earth and pull it up through your body. And you're just going to bring it into your auric field. And this is going to give you the similar, it's going to give you the same result, really. And I find this super powerful because, like, as they're in the earth, they're connected to all the other crystals. And it kind of reminds me of like trees, how like when trees are in the ground, or like the mycelium network in the ground, like they're all interconnected and they all connect and talk to one another. And same thing with these crystals in the ground. So you may even get an amplification of that energy, or even a more strong connection if you do it that way. So I just wanted to invite in that option if you don't have a crystal, because not everybody has a crystal, or they may not have the crystal that they want to work with at this time. So that is a very effective way to connect to the crystal and get the guidance, get the insight, the energy, all the things that you need, just through that intention and connecting into the earth.
And even if you're confined to your own home, I know some of the viewers here may be, and you can still, with your own intention, with with a self-guided type of meditation, you can just imagine your root chakra, like we said, going down to connecting to the center of Mother Earth, and it's through intention. You don't actually have to be outside, but when you are outside, it amplifies it even more. But it's just wonderful. Well, thank you very much for this. Do you want to continue on, or?
Yeah, we can continue on. We can put it into practice if you want, or just look at some crystals and see what we want to connect to first.
So here is we're going to connect. And this one is Jasper. What did you want to share anything, or did we want to try and pick up anything from Jasper?
Yeah, we can do that.
So we want to just set our intention.
Yeah, I can walk everyone through the process first. So do you want to do this crystal, and I can walk everybody through the process, and then we can go through the rest, just you and me? Can I do that? Okay.
Yeah, that's good. I can do that.
All right. So I'll just walk you through. So I invite everybody to set your intention to connect to Jasper. And for this intention, I just invite you to ask Jasper how it can serve you at this time. So what is Jasper's medicine for you? And as you do, you can either look at the crystal, or you can just bring that image of the crystal into your mind's eye, and then allow your energy to sink down into the very heart of Mother Earth, connecting to that crystalline core, and just breathing that energy back up your body until you feel grounded and stable in that energy. And then go ahead and breathe that energy down one more time and connect into the crystalline grid of Jasper, feeling into its mineral makeup and its divine crystalline consciousness, and breathing that back into your body. So as you have this beautiful Jasper energy in your field, go ahead and let it infuse your entire aura with its energy. Feel it on all levels of your being, and just sense where in your body you feel this energy. Notice any thoughts or impressions that may come up for you, and just sit with it for a moment. Now I invite you to see, sense, feel, or imagine a beautiful stream of light radiating out of your heart and connecting into the crystalline field of the Jasper. As you do, go ahead and breathe in this energy on the inhale. And then as you slowly exhale, breathe that energy back into the Jasper, and continue to do that for a few times, breathing in the energy of the entirely crystalline network of Jasper, and breathing out the gratitude and love for this connection. And then go ahead and take one more nice deep breath in of this energy, feeling it amplify in your heart. And then slowly exhale and let it radiate throughout your body. Now, silently or aloud, ask how Jasper can serve you at this time. What can its energy provide you or help you with? Just allow the first thoughts, words, feelings, or impressions to enter your awareness. And just observe what is coming up for you. And know that whatever is coming up in this moment is exactly what you need. And when you are ready, go ahead and thank Jasper for its wisdom and its guidance today. sending love and gratitude for its assistance. And then just go ahead and breathe back into your body. Ground yourself once more. And you can take a few moments to journal or write anything you experienced or any guidance you received.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Stacey. So how did everybody do? And it's okay if you were just listening to see what would happen and how it's done, but I do encourage you to you can see how it's only takes a few moments. And since I was probably a little more prepared than others, I did share my what I was getting. First of all, was creativity because of all the different shapes and all the different offerings and all the different expressions that Jasper has. It's very unique and creative. It allows me to be creative. I was saying, is that an elephant or is that a bird? Like it looks like something, and it makes me use my imagination. And then softening. I just loved all the hues of the colors, and I just felt like very soft and very calm and very relaxed. And again, I said unique because of each one. There's no two that are alike. And for some reason, I was reminiscing to a past life. I'm like, oh, this is reminding me of a past life. Also reminded me of childhood because of the playful nature of Jasper that I just felt was very innocent and playful and welcoming. And, there was no judgment there. And you say, Jean, how can you get no judgment from? I'm just saying what I was feeling when I was looking at it and feeling, it doesn't have to make logical sense. It's really just feeling it. And just relax and fun. So these are just some of the words, and it's just it's you can have you can think of the universe, or you can think of I don't know, dinosaurs. Whatever you think of is fine for you. It's really an individual thing. There's no right or wrong, but just feeling, and it doesn't all have to go together. It can be very sporadic, but it's really amazing what you might come up with if you do this from time to time, or a couple of times on once.
Mm.
So
Uh,
gatekeeper says, oh, okay, go ahead.
oh, go ahead. I was just going to say, during my experience, it was funny because I was almost flashing back to like connecting into the land, and like it reminds me of like it. I just want to go touch the dirt, and then like I got this visual of just like making like some paste with the dirt and like painting with it and playing with it, and there was this deep, that creativity and play was definitely there, but there was also this deep nourishment there, like connecting into the mineral makeup of the earth and feeding the cells of the body, and just like sticking your toes in the mud and letting it come into your body and really revitalize. And I think it's such a nourishing energy for me, like at least right now.
For sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I can see that for sure. And that would, and it doesn't have to be similar, but I feel it's a lot past life, childhood, fun, creativity, relaxation. I mean, and you may get similar things, and that's fine, or you may get something totally different. It just depends on what the healing that you need. I probably need to relax. I probably need to be more childlike. I need to be more whatever Jasper has to offer you is whatever it is that you are needing from Jasper at the moment. So you may feel emotional. You may, it just it's I think it's very unique to each individual. And oh geez, Joanna says, I want to make a crystal grid now. Absolutely. Oh, so Linda said she's in her pool water walking, and Stacy's voice is so calming. She was going to go and fall asleep. Um, and Gatekeeper said she was swaying back and forth like the ocean.
Mm.
Interesting, very ocean-like. Yeah, I didn't. Neither of us got that, but that I can see that for sure. And
I think,
Mary's, pardon?
oh, I was going to say, I think that is a picture of ocean jasper. That's
Oh,
why it has the blue hues. So very fitting.
wow! I didn't know that was called ocean jasper. Mary
There's
Star
different types.
says Jasper helped relax tight muscles for her. See?
Mm.
Wow, and I wrote relax too. So it's different for everybody, but you can find like a similar thread, you know? A lot of people use this as like a worry stone. They have it as a palm stone that they
That's
just hold on.
exactly what I have.
Wow, I love it. I love it. I love it. I have a dark color jasper, and there's obviously you see all different hues, but mine, I'm pointing, mine's all like this color, a really dark one. And I needed it for, I had needed a healing on my root chakra. So I was very much into this darker color of the jasper, and I love mine. Um, and be calm and create. Yeah. See, a lot of people got some of the same connections, and even if you didn't, it's okay. It's okay just to be a voyeur and watch and listen and learn from what other people are receiving. Wonderful. So we just have a couple of slides just to show you different. We're not going to go through the entire thing, but just to show you what different ones look like. So I'm really glad we did this one. This one was really calling me, and I love the earth. It's just so natural and earth-like, and it reflects the individuality. I just love Jasper. But thanks
Mm.
for letting me. She let me choose which one. This one is rose quartz. This one is good. They say it's good for self-love or for um, healing, your heart. And what else, Stacey?
For me, like I started really using rose quartz when I made a big move across the country. And for me, it really helped me with transition and it helped me with sleep and it helped me get into this like calm state where I felt like nurtured and supported in a way that I didn't really have. Like I had that instability and that ungroundedness. So it really helped kind of like, mother me through the process. It feels like a very mothering stone. And then, like, after I got through that transitionary phase, I felt like it was really awakening this divine feminine energy and this receptivity where I actually began to like take care of myself and do things for myself. And it really helped me with my own spiritual growth because it wasn't always about like, giving to other people, but it was about receiving now, and it was about really bringing that energy and love and compassion into my life for myself. Because it's easy to do for everyone else, but that was kind of like the biggest gift in medicine for me. And I think it can also be another one of those really calming stones where it can help relax your energy. And yeah, I really love it. Just I like to just have it in my field now. I just sometimes I'll just imagine like pink around me, and I find it really super interesting because like when I moved and like I came to this state, like I just had this obsession with pink. Like I'd never liked pink before, but like I got pink bedspreads, I like got pink decor, I got pink crystals, and it was just like this super soft feminine energy, and it really helps like support you in that whole process of your own, development. Because I think, a lot of the times we like think we got to go fast, hard, be the best, and this kind of helped me reframe that where it's just like I can take it easy, and I really like that about it.
Strength can be gentle. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I too associate it with the divine feminine as well, and the self love as well as
Mm.
But that's so wonderful. Thank you for sharing that with us. How lovely that you were supported and in such a vulnerable time when you're away from family like that, and how wonderful that you received that healing. And it could be something different for all of us. So this is amethyst, and I have an amethyst myself, and I find that it's very it's healing in the sense of a spiritual development and allowing my human ego to get acquainted with my soul and my spirit of the, that blending that combination together. How about you, Stacey?
Oh, just as you said that, there's I have this pink amethyst, and I feel like that has that energy of like, that heart and that high connection, and it just feels like such a beautiful bridge. And with amethyst in particular, I really I like to use it for sleep. I like that dream time work with it. But I also like to use it in the records sometimes. But it's only one of my amethyst stones that I'll use in the records. Like, I don't know what it is, but it's just like that one is in alignment with it. And I feel like it can really help us kind of open up to that higher connection in a way where it has that steady stream of connection. And I love the purple stones, like more than the amethyst. I have a lepidolite bracelet, and I feel like they really hold this sacred knowledge. And like we were talking before the show, is like there's like the 3D level of crystals where it's like they're pretty, they make me feel good. And then there's like this whole other depth to the crystal. And I feel like with amethyst, I'm kind of just scratching the surface of some of the depth and some of the knowledge and some of the wisdom and even some of the records that are held within this crystal and really harmonizing to it. So I've just actually recently started using it in my dream time. And it's really been helping me kind of interpret my dreams, like, because now I have a crystal. It's like, okay, I need to write down my dream. It's like I found this under my pillow. And so it's kind of giving me that trigger. And it's really been fascinating kind of seeing how things are unfolding. And one of the interesting things about the amethyst and one of the dreams, maybe just because I was thinking of amethyst before I went to bed, but it was about using the transformative power of amethyst and using, that violet flame in our ascension process, because it's not necessarily about, getting rid of all the density, kind of throwing everything out the door, but it's about really integrating it and transforming it into this fuel, into this potential that we can really use to accelerate our growth and evolution. So yeah, I really like amethyst. It's really dynamic, and I feel like there's so much depth that that you could really, really dive into it for a long time.
Wow. Wow, that was great. Thank you very much, Stacey, for sharing that with us. And everybody's saying my favorite color is purple, and this has a lot to do with color energy too, like
Mm-hmm.
color healing and color therapy and color using color. But with the crystal itself, it adds a new dynamic, obviously, with the frequency and vibration. Is not only the color, but in the record of the crystal itself, and the vibration frequency, and you know I guess material makeup of each crystal. And I don't know all the terms. I'm not a gemologist. I know that there's different types of, but I don't
Minerals.
know them.
Yeah.
I just I just
I think the minerals determine the color, so the mineral makeup. You're right on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I do find it fascinating about the color because color is frequency, color is energy. And if you actually look at some of the definitions of crystals and then the color of the crystal or the chakra that matches the color, you'll see a lot of similarities. Like a lot of people interpret that way and use it for that. And it kind of reminds me of like it's on the same frequency. So like I've heard the saying like, within the mineral kingdom, there's a cure for anything. Within the plant kingdom, there's a cure for everything. And so I think it's the same with, crystals or minerals. So I think it's the same with color, and light frequency. Within every color and wave frequency, there is a healing that we can utilize to heal anything. So I think they're very, I think they're very similar. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, absolutely. So let's continue. We have one or two more, and this is selenite, and it's a little hard to see here, but it's a very white, clear. It's not clear. It's just a white crystal, and it's quite. It's more like this. This is what I think. I have a plate. I don't have it with me.
Yeah,
It's over there.
the background is a big piece of selenite. but it's got all those lines and striations that are going vertical.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let me just hold yours up. Yeah, and it's a very clearing. It's a very clearing energy. And I hold on to these. I have hearts. I have like hearts like this, but oh, sorry, I left you up there. I have hearts like this, but they're selenite, and I can put the point of the heart here and hang on to them. They're very comfortable. So this is what I use when I go to my psychic fairs. I use selenite hearts, and I love those. But when I'm here at home, I use these. But these points are hard to travel with. So,
Yes, they are.
so we're just at the very end. So selenite, did you want to tell us a little bit about selenite?
Um, yeah, I mean, I guess my first connection, like before I even really got into crystals, I was in, one of those herb shops and they had a few crystals on the table. And the one I was drawn to pick up was selenite. And, I've connected with crystals in the past, but when I picked up that selenite, like I was like, it was almost like the first time I opened the records, like I was completely ungrounded and I was open and like everything felt like it was like, whew, and I could just feel all this energy coming in and all of this information. And at the time I wasn't even like that spiritual. I was like, what the heck? I put the crystal down because I was like, whoa, like I had never experienced anything like that. And now I use selenite like all the time because I feel like it is so much like a direct connection to not only like the Akashic records, but like, the earth records and like all those facets. It reminds me of like fiber optic cables, like all those streams of light. And like it has just been like, it's so versatile. I feel like it's one of those stones for everything. It's like you can use it for connection, you can use it for clearing, you can use it for healing. You can really use it for anything that you need it for. And it's very powerful. And I feel like it reminds me of light, it's like the stone of light. And one of the interesting things that it has been working with me lately is reprogramming my subconscious mind. And I found it so fascinating, but it's been like a weird a weird connection where it's like me tuning into some of the things that some of the patterns that I'm changing, and then like the selenite coming in and like breaking down the frames of the patterns and the experiences that I've been having and showing me where to shift them in my day to day. And
Wow.
then like bringing in that anchor and that coherent frequency where, okay, now I can see the reaction as it's happening and I can see what I actually need to do because of that connection with the selenite. And it's really been helping me like reprogram these unconscious patterns in a whole new way. And it's been like so fascinating to work with. And
Wow.
yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Wow. That's so there it's endless, you guys. I mean, it's limitless. It's just so beautiful and it's unique to each one of us, and it may not be or feel similar to what Stacey had experienced, but the potential is there. And it depends on how open we are, and if we do our meditation, if we work on our energy, when we walk around with a higher vibrational energy and a higher state of consciousness, when we come across these crystals, these things, we can work on it in that level. So there's all different levels that we can work on, and I do also feel as though it's very luminary, like a luminous type of crystal, and very angelic. When I see angels and ninth dimensional beings, they have this luminescent quality that comes from within. And I feel like this is one of the closest things to that luminous type of feeling or look that it might have. Very nice. So we have one more here. I don't know. Is there another one? Okay. Yeah. Thank you. And this is like a Druzy quartz geode that we found. So that was really very beautiful. And uh Wisdom Seeker Jones saying fascinating info. Thank you very much. So I just wanted to share a story with you all. Is there anything else that you wanted to share with us, Stacey, before I start talking about my story?
I'm kind of curious to hear your story, so let's go for it.
Yeah, I just didn't want to step on your toes if there's anything else. Um, but what I had a BQH, which is like a QHHT session. It was a regression into a past life, but I wasn't live with the person. It was over the internet. So it's called BQH. It's called Beyond Quantum Healing. And one of my past lives, I was under the water, and I was tiny, and I was living in a it was like a flower, and the flower had like a little. It had some petals that were on the top, and then there was one little petal that like scooped underneath. And I lived in this little flower, and it was under the sea. It was under the water, and so I lived inside of this little flower, and I was in the little flower, and the guide who was walking me through this, they're saying, "Well, what does your home look like? What is around you?" And I said, "Oh, there's some little crystals over here, and I see little crystals, and they're sort of like beaming, but they're beaming at different times." And they said, "Well, tell me what do these look like?" And how do they make you feel? I said, "They're like my pets. They're my little pets. My crystals are pets." And they said, "Well, is there anything that you use these crystals for other than just being a pet?" I said, "They notify me if there's danger before the danger comes. So they're information and communication and pets. So they love me, and we can play together. But if there's danger, they'll let me know." So the guide was fantastic. And it's Shane from Unbiased and on the Fence, if everybody knows who he is. He's amazing. So he says, "What do the crystals want you to know?" And I said, "They want me to go back to where they came from, where their home is." So we go back to where the crystals come from, and we go to a next level, and he says, "Okay, where are you now?" I said, "I'm on the surface of the water." And it was just like my head, but it's not me, it's this little creature that was living in the thing in the water. So, and he says, "So where do you draw on?" I said, "There's a piece of land over there, and the piece of land has like a little dark cave around the corner, and I want to go into that dark cave." So we go into the dark cave, and as soon as I come around the corner, there is millions and trillions of crystals in all different colors and shapes and sizes. And the love that I felt coming from these crystals was so overwhelming. It was the unconditional love of the universe. It was amazing. I never felt so welcome, so loved, so taken care of. And it was where all these crystals came from. And they're all there just waiting for us, just loving us, just supporting us. And they were all like, "Come in, come in." And they were kind of like bringing me in and like touching my arms and touching my legs and pulling me closer and giving me hugs and love. And it was like so emotional, just moved me. I've never felt that. And the image of the jewel uh like they would shine and then back off, and another one would shine and back off, and the colors were so brilliant and so varied. It was such a mosaic. It was unlike, and I was like, my mind is blown. I've never seen this before in my life. It was so beautiful. I'll never forget it. But so this is my connection to crystals. I've been working with them in past lives, and they help me, and they're my pets, and they help me tell me about danger. But I was so happy that Shane actually said, "Let's go and find out where they come from. Let's go. They want you to come back." Like, it was just so spontaneous. So, and if I had never gone into that little cave, I'll never forget it as long as I live. It was like yesterday. And these are the things that are forever. It's my soul's experience. My soul experienced this. And I'm telling you, as much as my hand is in front of my face right now, I know I experienced that for sure. And I'll always carry that with me. So I just wanted to share that. It was an amazing experience.
Wow, that is so beautiful. I really love that and that whole connection. When you went off to see the crystals, did you feel like you were going off like into another dimension, or like where did you feel like you were going?
I don't know that it was a different dimension. It was a different environment. Um, but it was very safe. It was like a different environment. It was like people didn't like live there, or beings didn't live there. It was like a different place. So it could be a different
Interesting.
dimension. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
It,
find that fascinating. And I guess I can share one of my stories that I had with crystals if you want.
yes, please do.
I think it was a few years back, maybe a couple years back. I got really sick. Like I don't usually get sick or anything like that, but I felt like almost like so bad, and I just had to like lay in bed, like I was like in complete state of surrendering because I felt like, I like, am I gonna survive? Being dramatic. But when I went in and I just surrendered and I went into meditation, I was actually brought, like, it was similar to yours. That's why I'm bringing this one up. And I was brought in through the ocean. And then we went in the ocean and into this beautiful crystalline cave, and like the entire cave was just full of crystals, and it was like this dome, and then there was water underneath, like it was still in the ocean, but there was this dome of crystals. And then I was like laid on the water, like I was floating on top of the water, and there was like a mermaid there. Like, I know it's weird, but it really reminded me of like these Lemurian times when we were so connected to the crystals and the earth and the healing. And then there was these like beautiful dolphins that came in, and they were like making the sounds and the tones, and it was vibrating off the crystals, and all of that was going into the water and into my body. And it was just like this transcendental healing experience that I've never experienced before. And it just felt so transformative. And like the next day I woke up completely fine, like nothing ever happened, and like even renewed to like a new level. And
Wow.
I've had other experiences where I've had like past lives where I have been working with crystals and like all of this, but I haven't really tapped into it so much in this lifetime. But it's definitely something like I'm still uncovering, because they are so powerful, and they do hold like so, like these beautiful stable frequencies that can really help us harmonize and change on a cellular level. And I think that's what a lot of people don't realize is like they're not separate from us, but they are really are in our energy field. They're coming through us. They're really, and then when we invite in and allow ourselves to receive that frequency, we can change our bodies on a cellular level, and we can even activate, our own crystalline light bodies within our own selves. So they truly are fascinating. And yeah, so it's super exciting.
Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that. And that's now I know where I know you from.
Yeah.
But you did remind me, there was a hum, there was a vibration that was audible. It was like a hum and a vibration, and they were part in the water and part in the cave. Well, I think I saw you there. I don't know, maybe you were part of my family, but that is just so fascinating, isn't it? And I definitely connect with the dolphins. Yeah, for sure. Wow.
Mhm.
Wow. I mean, this is just, I mean, we touched on some really deep subjects today, and we touched on some very introductory subjects today. And hopefully this appeals to everybody, all the different, wherever you are, this reaches you to, we're at the point where you are. And if you haven't connected with a crystal or picked up a crystal, even if it's just something that you think is pretty, I encourage you to explore. I encourage you to explore, and it's really endless and extremely vital part of our existence here on Earth. And I love that to we bury ourselves in the sand and stuff. Well, why do you think you do? Because all that crystalline energy is there, and I could just go on forever. So, is there
Mhm.
anything else that I forgot, Stacey, that you wanted to say, or how? What would
Um,
What would you say in closing here?
First off, I would say, like, I really hope this inspired you to really connect with your crystals. And part of the thing that inspired, this whole conversation to begin with is like, a lot of us have crystals laying around. It's like we collect them because they're pretty and they're sparkly and we like them. But you can really dive into these crystals and unlock like a whole other realm of consciousness and existence, and really this new level of information that we haven't really seen before. And like when I was tuning into the crystals the other day, like I was talking with Daphne, and we were like, I asked her like, well, what are crystals? And she said, um, they're just part of the earth. And like what came through for me was like, they're more than part of the earth. It's like they're the bones of the earth. They're the structure of the earth, and they're the record keepers of the earth. And I feel like even some of these crystals, like they've been seeded on our planet from like even other dimensions and densities. And that's why I asked you about it, because like it's not just about the earth and the records and stuff, but it's like there's so much about the universe and about existence within these codes that are within these crystals. And like the way we access these codes is first by connecting to them. And then once we have that strong connection, we can begin to like, I like to imagine like journeying inside the crystal itself. And like when I'm inside the crystal, it's like you can see the walls of the crystal, you can see the codes and the images, impressions in the crystal, and you can like go into them, but they're like infinite, just like the records. It's like they're never ending. But when we have that intention, like what is here for us now, we can begin to activate those things and access that higher dimension of knowledge and wisdom for ourselves. And then the second thing that I wanted to invite everyone to is our Awaken the Light Solstice sound bath and crystalline activation. And this will really give you an opportunity to step into that higher perspective of what these crystals are and what crystalline consciousness truly is. And on top of that, we're going to bring in our own crystalline light bodies and activate the codes within us, because I think in our spiritual journey, it's like we have everything we need already inside of us, but we're just not shown how to access it. And so we wanted to provide this opportunity for everybody to actually access that for themselves and really bring it online in a new way and hopefully, transform your life. So that's next Sunday, June 23rd at 4 p.m. Pacific time and 7 p.m. Eastern time. If anybody's interested, we'll leave the sign up just in the description below.
Yeah, the link is in the description below, and I also put it in both chats. And this is for the solstice, and this is on the 23rd of, which is not the exact solstice, but it'll be held on Sunday the 23rd. And you can click the link to learn more about it. And so the soul gifts activation and journey into the Akashic Records. You want to talk about that one, or that was the first one?
Oh, yeah. That's just a special free gift that I have on my website, because one of the main questions I always get asked in the records is, what are my soul gifts? And so I wanted to give everybody the opportunity to actually go into the records themselves through a guided meditation where they can really hone into activating one of their soul gifts, and actually in a way where they can bring it online. So I think a lot of the times we can get kind of distracted by the fascination, or, kind of, I don't know, kind of like the commercialization of like, what did I do? How powerful was I? How all these things. And for this one, it's really like, what can I use from my past here and now? What can I use for my future self here and now? And really bring that online within ourselves so that we can create change and we can, operate from that higher level of our soul and integrate it into our everyday lives, because, it isn't separate from us. And if we have already cultivated it and it's something that we can use now, like why not access it, and why not really honor that gift that we have and bring it into our, our daily lives, our spiritual practices, and help humanity. So that's that.
Wow. That is really wonderful. Thank you so very much for your time, for your expertise, for the beautiful presentation. Stacey put together all the graphics. We agreed on what the subject would be, and boom, all she was just so generous with her time and energy. And I thank you so very much, Stacey. It was fascinating connecting with you. And like I said, we just touched on the surface. And this presentation today was probably like a 9-step course that you would usually. We covered the gamut. We covered beginners. We covered, experience or expert, and we just appreciate each and every one of you. If you watch this later, please do leave a little emoji, a little hello in the chat below. Let me just see who it is that is watching later. And if you enjoyed this topic, if you would like more like this, or if you have any suggestions or recommendations about these types of topics, we appreciate all of your feedback. Thank you, everybody who is here in the chat, who watched live, who helped to raise the vibration and the state of consciousness together. And I hope you all felt that raising of the energy, that upliftment, and the buzz that we all get. I'm like, from just connecting to the crystals and talking about it. It's our intention, and it is really just that simple. So, and I just wanted to say, everybody have a wonderful night. You will catch me later with Scott Scorpio Sun Tarot. He's having his channelversary, and I will be over there. There's going to be some free giveaways, free gifts, giveaways, all different things. So come on over and join us, and it'll be lots of fun. We're not going to be doing any readings tonight. We're going to be getting to know one another, and it's fun seeing everybody together. So thanks again, Stacey, for all your hard work, and thank you, everybody. Have
Thank
a good
you
night.
so much. Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Thank you, everybody, for watching. Your support is greatly appreciated. If you enjoy this content, hit like, share, and subscribe. Remember to click the bell to be notified of future videos. Thanks again.